Hey guys, I have just jumped on with Chris Minogue, who, as everybody knows, is our Mothercraft expert. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
And today we wanted to give everyone a bit of an idea of what we're going to be doing on the weekend, because for those states that are in daylight savings at the moment, that is going to be ending on Sunday at 3 a.m. in the morning. Lucky us.
Beautiful.
And as we know, this is when we obviously need to look at what we're doing with our little ones with regards to sleep. So I've asked Chris to jump on and take us through newborn, baby and toddler routines. So we know what we're going to do when those little people wake up potentially very early, because the clocks are going backwards. So dive straight in and tell us all about what we're going to be doing.
Okay, so with those little newborns, there's not going to be that big of a change. And what we mean by newborns is probably the little ones up to about 10 to 12 weeks, because they're still frequently feeding overnight. It's just going to feel like a very long night. So I think they'll keep on track. For those little ones that are starting to get a day-night pattern, what you probably need to do, so these are the babies probably between the 9 and 12 weeks, they might need an extra sleep in the day. So they're going to start the day earlier. So they're going to start at 5. So don't panic. It's just one day. And the idea is to get to the end of the day. So to get back to your 7 or 7:30 window. So those little babies are just going to have an extra cycle of feed and sleep within that day. So hang in there. You'll get through it, and you want to get to the end of the day. And this is really the premises for all the kids at all the ages. The tricky ones are the ones, say, between 5-6 months, where they have a lot more predictability in their patterns across the day, and the kids up to about that 12-month window, because they will be starting the day early. And where they might have been starting the day, right on 6, they could feel like they're starting the day on 5. And again, we're just going to give an extra little sleep in the day of about 20 minutes so that we push that day cycle back out to that 7 o'clock window. The earliest you can put them to bed is 6:30, and it should not affect any sleep behavior overnight. So if you think about it, you've got one extra day, 1 extra hour on Sunday, but if they go to sleep at 6:30, 7 o'clock Sunday night, they will wake up, or should wake up at their normal 6 o'clock in the morning, or 6 to 7 in the morning, and that gets Monday back on the right day. Okay, right. So I think the difficulty comes with the parents whose babies might have been waking in that 5:30, 6 o'clock, because that will feel like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and you need to resettle for a little bit longer to see how far you can get that little one to come closer to the start of the day. So whether you might give an extra feed just to lull them into another hour's sleep, that's really going to help you get across the day.
That's interesting. So that's the secret. Perhaps it is putting in the extra time to resettle, or that little extra feed. And is that like a quick feed, a half a feed?
It's probably a half a feed, because it's most likely to happen in that 4:30. And if we give too big a feed there, it might throw the rest of the feeds in terms of this age group out across that day. I think the tricky ones, the very tricky ones, are our sweet toddlers, who often tell us they're up. And that could be that 5 o'clock window. So depending whether your toddler's still on 2 sleeps or 1 sleep, if they're on 2 sleeps, I'd give them an extended first sleep of the morning. And I'd really talk about this with your partner or your support system to know who's going to get up that little bit earlier with that child, and not to get too anxious about it. It's more about having a bit of a plan and getting through that day. The difficult one is the little one on 1 sleep in the day. And what I would probably do is do a sneaky 20-minute sleep at about 9, 9:30. Maybe if you're still able to get out for a walk, just, one person with that baby in a pram walk in and do a little 15-minute exercise walk, and that little one has a nap, I think you'd be back on track. So then you'd put them down at their, after their lunch for their lunchtime sleep. They may not sleep as long, but they'll probably sleep enough to get you through to putting them down to bed at 6:37 in the morning. Sorry, in the evening. Sorry,
yeah.
6, 7 in the evening. So as long as you have a bit of an idea of a plan, I know a lot of people start out a week before moving their babies, but you don't have to do it. You just absorb it in that one day. You've got to get to the end of the day and put them down to bed at the same time. They'll sleep a normal night, and then Monday you should be back on track.
Great. And I think, yeah, like you say, don't overthink it. Don't make it more complex than it needs to be. I do have a question for those that are sort of that 2.5 to 3 where they're just dropped the day sleep. So they're not having the day sleep, but they still kind of need one. Do we give them a sneaky little nap?
We do. We give them let's go, depends on their age, because we can't really put them in the car and go for a drive in our times at the moment. But what we really do want to do is almost when they're getting a bit fragile just before lunch, maybe snuggling up with them on the couch and letting them doze for 10 or 15 minutes should ride them through till the end of the day. Once they get over that age of 2.5, 3, 3.5, you should be able to just have a very long day. But they can be put into bed at 6:30. So making sure that you move all of their routine forward so they're getting the same cues to understand to go to bed.
Yeah, and don't end up with that danger nap at 5 o'clock in the evening. We've all been there.
No danger sleeps at the end of the day. I'd be more horrified of that than giving them a sneaky sleep at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, which is such a look, and it's a nice thing. It might be, you know, especially being a Sunday. I think, present to on,
and then just couple in, and weirdly they might just drop off to sleep for a little bit.
Good. Well, Chris, as always, you make it so simple, which I think is the most important thing. That let's be practical about this. Let's just be prepared with the right information ahead of time.
Absolutely.
And we'll hopefully be back to what's our new normal at the moment on Monday.
Oh, absolutely. So, don't overthink it. Just think about that you've got a longer day by 1 hour. It's only 1 hour, and you need to absorb that in that day, and that they have to get back to their sort of within their normal bedtime, and it should correct itself on that first night.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Take care.
See ya.